Alright guys, so this 2020 XC60 T6 all-wheel drive model, one of the least talked about features in these cars, which I don't think anybody really knows about unless you like get one or take a tour. It's kind of an old technology at this point. It's been around a couple years. But if you simply just put your foot right underneath there, trunk will open up for you if you're carrying stuff. This is the trunk. Comes equipped with a 12-volt plug in there. Nice and spacious here. I kind of like it. Very functioning. Comes with a full-size tire and everything here in the trunk, which is important. For a little while, Volvo decided to, not put in spare tires for a couple years during this weight-saving thing that they were trying out. Anyways, terrible idea for anybody driving a car with a flat tire. Simply hit that button right up there. Trunk also closes automatically. Going into the back seat, this car, now if you go from the 2017 Inscription model into the 2020, you'll see major differences in the material. So check out the door. The doors here, everything is a nice soft touch. I mean, this is hard plastics underneath, but soft to the touch. However, where your arm will be, or wherever you're really touching the most, here is padded leather and stitched. In the back seat here, let me move some of this stuff out of the way. Kind of already settled in here. You will see in the back seat, nice bucket seats, bolstered. Also still have the center armrest here with some cup holders and storage. As you can see in the 2020 model, this started in 2018 with the XC60 when they released that. This is the 2020, like I said earlier. You can see the panoramic sunroof is much larger than in the 2017 older model XC60. Nice upgrade in here if you haven't upgraded your car. Also in the rear seats of this spec'd out T6 Inscription model, you have full access to climate control right there. Now let's go into the front. You'll see that they have a nice blind spot protection on this vehicle. It comes equipped. Harman Kardon speakers. Beautiful, beautiful touch. They do sound nice. One of my favorite things with the Inscription model is the bolstered seats. The extra padding here in the front, you just toggle this switch right here and it will move. You're right here. We're gonna do the extension. Boom. All right, you just toggle that down and push that forward and the seat will adjust for your legs. A nice feature Volvo has added in their new generation cars, newest generation. Going into the car here now, pretty straightforward. Again, everything is leather stitched in the Inscription models, very nice. Infotainment system is very easy to use. We do want traffic information, yes, accept. All right, let's turn the car on. This car, all Volvos are coming equipped with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. So my phone is connected. Beautiful interior, guys. Like I said before, I've talked about this, but I just wanted to really show you one-on-one difference between the old generation Volvo versus the new generation right next to each other. It's pretty incredible how much different they really are. Again, lots of storage in the center console here. You have storage and then your access port for USB. This car you will need to, let's see here, let's go home. Yeah, this car, to access your Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, you do need to plug the phones in. But yeah, you got your text messaging here and it's pretty easy to use. Over here on the infotainment, or on the center dash cluster here, you can change your different settings. Cruise control on the left side, and then you can also just filter through some information using the toggle switches. Bluetooth connectivity right there. And you can go, you got your phone settings here, and then if navigation is set up with your phone, you can obviously scroll to that. So very, very easy to use. On the infotainment system here, you have AM, FM, satellite radio, Bluetooth connectivity, and then you can go into seeing your car driver performance, fuel mileage wise. Let's go back over here, car status, messages. That's more for like the service department. change your sound experience. And then if you go all the way to the left here, you can turn off your equipment like the park assist, auto start stop feature, blind spot, all that good stuff. You can turn on your camera manually here, which has a zoom feature and a regular feature here. We do like the lines, so we leave those on. Going back, you have headrest folds, you click that, and those rear headrests will go down. Very nice. Continuing down over here, we have wiper service position, which is like, you know, if you wanted to, here, I'll just turn it on. Turn on wiper service position, and it leaves the windshield wipers right there. So if you want to change your windshield wipers or do any sort of servicing, not really for the consumer, that's more for the shop. All right, avoid collision assistance, more technology. You can also go into your auto adjust passenger seat, I guess, using this side. Very cool. So if you click adjust passenger seat here, you can go ahead and use the switches on the driver's seat, and as you can see, I'm clicking it and it's moving this seat. So I guess if you have kids in the back and you need some more space and you're not in the passenger seat, you can go ahead and just click the adjust passenger seat. Pretty interesting quirk and feature. All right, road sign and signs. This is some cool technology here, guys. And then of course, when you scroll down, you have your owner's manual, settings, and then profile. So if you have multiple drivers of the vehicle in the household, such as in my situation here, I can click my position, my profile right there. And when you do that, guys, it sets up your seat, mirrors, and your preset radio stations automatically. So very easy to use. Let's go ahead, take this on the drive, and I want to just briefly explain to you my personal opinion of how this car rides versus the old generation Volvo. Pretty cool stuff, guys. Let's do it. All right, so to start off, this car, like most newer cars, have a park assist feature. So if you're stopped at a red light and the car's in drive, the emergency brakes are engaged. So simply just tap the gas and it releases, and now we are rolling. Let's roll. As you just heard, doors automatically lock. Very nice, not clunky sounding at all. I did forget to mention in the infotainment system, this car is equipped with heated steering wheel and heated seats in the front here. You do have the option, if you pay for it, to get heated seats in the back as well. Kind of nice. Feels really good, especially when it's cold outside and the steering wheel is warm. Anyways, brakes on this car. The car stops with a great feeling. It feels magnificent. Suspension on new Volvos, this generation that they just came out with, they use the same suspension across all of their models. They only adjust the ride height and of course the length of the car, depending on the S90, XC60, or even XC40, you know, depending on what car you're in, depends on the length in terms of wheel space and diameter and all that good stuff. But the suspension components are pretty much the same across the board, which means the ride feels across all platforms of Volvos are going to feel very similar. The only difference is, again, ride height. So if you're in the XC90, it's a little bit bigger than this car, but it's still going to feel very nimble on the road, which is what I like about the new Volvo suspension. In a minute, I'll show you right here what it's like in the old Volvo XC60. Much clunkier. The car rocks, it doesn't feel as stable. I just took that turn just now at almost 40 miles an hour. There's very little body roll. And usually you don't drive an SUV like this, but for talking perspective, I want to just share with you how that feels through the camera. The engine is a 2.0 liter 4-cylinder engine that is turbocharged and supercharged. It's producing around 316 torque. It's producing around 295 horsepower, 316 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot of power. It's a decent amount of power. The torque is what you feel around town. The horsepower is what you're using on the highway. And again, you're not racing this car, but if you need to step on it, it kicks you back into the seat. The sound of the exhaust sounds really good. The engine is nice and refined. The supercharger's not too whiny like it is in the old Volvo XC60 T6 Inscription model. That was the first generation they actually launched this platform on the engine. So obviously Volvo didn't have it all down pat yet, but in terms of what they've done today with their car, it sounds good. Doesn't really sound terrible for a 4-cylinder engine. This vehicle was purchased at Smythe Volvo in North Jersey here, family owned and operated. They're not sponsoring this video by any means, but I am good friends with a lot of the guys over there, and everybody's such a great person to work with. In fact, they're such a great operation. They're recruiting from other Volvo dealerships around the area because of how the ownership and management functions with the team. It's just incredible. They're all really enthusiastic about what they do, and it shows and reflects in their work and presentation. So if you are in North Jersey and you want to buy a Volvo, check out Smythe. I'll link it below. All right, guys, I am about to share with you the sounds of the newest refined engine in the XC60 in this model. And then the next clip after this, I'm gonna allow you to hear what the first generation of this engine sounded like in the 2017 Inscription model. So let's do it. I will say this before I go, the auto start stop feature is much smoother in the newer cars than in the original cars that they first launched in, like in the 2017. All right, here we go. Now you can hear how the transmission shifts, the engine sounds. You don't get too much whining noises, like I said earlier, you hear it a little bit from the supercharger, but not like you're about to hear now. Check it out. All right, as you can see, we are in the 2017 Volvo XC60 T6 Inscription model. Same spec'd out transmission, excuse me, same spec'd out engine as in the 2020. And I don't know if you can hear already the difference, but the supercharger in this car is so much louder, which I like personally. But if you're driving a luxury car and you want luxury feels and luxury touches, the normal person won't want to be hearing that so loudly. So it's really cool to see the difference from their first generation T6 4-cylinder engine to the new one. All right, so here we are, we're at the same turn. It's gonna be the same run as just now in the last clip. And as you can tell, the engine in this car is not as refined. The transmission is not as smooth shifting. You can probably see the entire car jolt when it shifted gears at the higher RPMs. Even the torque steer in the suspension in the front here, the steering wheel jolts to the side. Much different feeling than in the 2020. So stay tuned for more, guys. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, drop a comment below, give this video a like, and I will see you guys next time.